All right, one more time, welcome to cybersecurity bootcamp, and I hope you're ready for me. Let me see. I want to hear you all when you go up. All right, thank you. We're going to do introduction to cybersecurity today, and a little bit about myself. Like I said, this is my profile. Good morning. You're welcome. This is my profile, and like I said to you, how many of you were in the open house? How many of you were online in the open house? Only you? Shani, I think you were online.
Yeah.
The open house, okay.
Yeah.
So this is my background, and I didn't study computer university. No, I did not. I didn't read computer. I was just a person who was in the media, writer. I write things. I do presenting on radio shows. That was my job. But I loved computers. And I think the greatest thing I had was hunger and passion to be able to go into this field and grow in the field. And I'm saying you guys are super, super lucky. Before you get a computer school, in those days, I will teach you what we teach right now. In those days, you would definitely be thinking about a minimum of about $10,000 or something like that. You go to a computer boot camp like this. And it is companies that will have to send their staff, the members, employees to go there. So yeah, I was once where you are, and I always tell people, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And I'm serious about that. I'm a slow learner. People don't believe me. When I say people don't believe me, but I'm a slow learner. So if you find yourself not catching up very fast, you're not alone. That's me for you. I need to hear something maybe 2-3 times, then it sticks. So to some people, it sticks once, okay? In the class, you will definitely have people that will catch it faster. And you will say, just that guy, other lady is doing well, and I'm not doing well. Don't do that. We all are wired differently, okay? We are wired differently. Now, when I was growing up, we played a lot of soccer, competitive soccer. So when we're playing at home, sometimes there's a certain physique that some people come with. When they show up in the field, you will think, oh my God, we're dead. You know, this guy, he's going to kill us in the field. And when we go to the field, he can't play nada, he can't play nothing. He just has the physique that looks like a ball. So don't let anybody intimidate you. Some people might get it fast, some might get it good, some might not even get it until after a month. It's very okay, okay? It depends on how much you do, so don't beat yourself. Just know that we are with you on this journey. A WhatsApp group, have we opened the WhatsApp group?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're all going to be in that WhatsApp group. Please send your questions, make it interactive. I always tell people that the WhatsApp group is for this class. It's not for you to be posting prophecies from your uncle from Africa or your pastor from about how the world is going to end in 3 days. Please keep it professional, okay? Thank you for that. In this field, you have education and certification. These are some of my certifications that I have earned. And one of it that I believe some of you might gravitate towards is the Security Plus. And I believe that as we go, we will guide you on the best way to grow in this field or the best way to start this field. Any questions so far? You have something you wanted to give us?
Yes, before you.
Okay, let me press pause on this. So we'll come back with this. Oh, we should leave it in the recording, right?
You have anyone online? I just want to just some housekeeping things and I'll
Okay.
So just let me know when you're ready.
Okay, all right. So basically, these are all that we have, and we're going to take a short pause. And this is Mr. Wale, the head of training. He's my boss. I always say it's my boss, and it's true. So I welcome him to come and give us a short housekeeping.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is Wale. So I'm the head of the training department here in Afrius. So just few housekeeping things. I know all of you should have gotten an email yesterday about the curriculum, the welcome package, the student agreement. You all got that. Please, I need you all to sign that and upload that. Because that's very important that everyone signs that student agreement and upload that. If you're online, so we have options to join the class, in person. If you're going to join the class online, we need you to have your camera on. Okay, so moving forward, if you're going to join the class, we need you to have your camera on because the instructor needs to see that you're engaged. So your camera needs to be on if you're going to join the class. So that is the two requirements that I have up right now. Every week before the Saturday class, by Tuesday latest, you get the slides for the coming Saturday. So what that does is to give you the chance to read ahead for what the instructor is going to cover on the Saturday class. So by Tuesday, midnight, you should get the slide for the upcoming Saturday class. So that's the way the schedule is set up to do. So if you have any questions, the class is interactive. You will have access to the class materials. Those are yours. And once you create an account, you have access to the class materials for an extended period of time. It's not permanently. We also have the class being recorded. Okay, the recorded video. So if you need to reinforce your knowledge, right? The video will be accessible to you if you register. If you're a registered student and you have a Gmail address. Okay, so you need to have a Gmail address. If you send us your Gmail address, we'll add you so that YouTube will send you a link that the video of this class was being shared with you. Then you can rewatch the class again. Why do we do that? We want to, give you an opportunity to watch what you learned in class to reinforce your knowledge. Okay, to reinforce your knowledge. That's something we do here at Afrius. So the videos are recorded. It's for you. Give us YouTube. The extended where we give you access to the video is well over 3 months, between 4 to 6 months. You get access to that video. Why do we do that? Because we want you to be able to study, take a certification. We still have the material. So it's like you're taking the class, your refresher course with you. That is something like your instructor said. When we were taking computer class, it was $7,000 to $10,000. And they weren't even teaching you, as in-depth as what we're teaching right now. So please take advantage of that. So while you have access to those videos, make sure you don't just put them in the back burner, and then when the access is removed, you come back to us and say, I need the access. No, it's not going to work. Because we've already given you, your class is 2.5 months, it's 2 months, 10 weeks, right? In addition to that 10 weeks, you have another 3 months, 3 to 4 months where you have access to all the videos. Is that fair? Okay, I think that is fair. So we try to, work with students. We're not going to remove it because we know, okay, you plan your time, but the class is like you review the class, you revisit the class. For the 10 weeks, you have another 10 weeks extra again or more to watch every video to prepare for your class and certification. All right. I think that's what I have for right now. If you have any questions, I'm in the WhatsApp group also. Please join that WhatsApp group. The WhatsApp group will be information, questions you have for your instructor, any questions you have about maybe you didn't get the email or maybe you didn't get the slides of the week, put that in that WhatsApp group. We can quickly, someone will respond to you quickly. All right. So everything is automated, your payment online, everything is automated. If you have any questions, also reach out in that WhatsApp group. We can reach out to you directly or through the group. Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah.
No. Okay. If you do, put it in the WhatsApp group and we'll be able to respond to you. Thank you very much. All right. I'll hand it back to you, Professor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For coming here.
Mhm.
I don't know how much of it sounds to about it.
Okay. Thank you for that housekeeping, sir. And I hope all that encouragement will sink in and you will completely be with us. All right. What is cybersecurity? Somebody's trying to get in here with a number, and that's cybersecurity. So we're in class right now. Somebody just joined the class with 813-9636. We don't know who it is. We don't know if it's logging in from China or logging in from Russia. That right there, we don't know. So what we do is, who is logging in with this number, please? 813. Can you please identify yourself? We don't know who you are. If you're logging in from online, please log in with a name I can see.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Sorry, can you please identify yourself?
Maya Kuno Kuboy.
Sorry, Mayokun.
Yeah,
Okay, so are you able to log in with your name if possible?
I've been trying since I just get here now, so maybe I will correct it after the class or something.
Okay, all right, so welcome. We did introduction and the two of you just came in. We started by saying you tell us who you are, I mean your name, what you do for a living currently, and what you want to get out of this class. So Shanae, right? Shanae has introduced herself. Secunda has introduced herself. So let's start with you before we go back to the lady that works in the class. Can you tell us your name, what you do currently, and what you want to get out of this class?
Okay, thank you. My name is Ola Kuboye Mayokun. I'm a trucker. Been in trucker for 10 years, trucking company for 10 years. One of your friend is my boss partner. So
Who's that
I'm trying
again?
to change. Oh,
Who's that?
doing
Okay, okay.
so I'm trying to change the career,
Okay.
try new things. Despite trucking is good, it's making money, but the stress is too much for me, I
Okay.
say. Yeah.
Well,
So
welcome.
thank you.
Welcome. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
Yes, I'm Maureen.
Maureen. Oh, okay. I remember you from the open house. Okay.
I'm Maureen, so right now I'm doing here with a worker, so. And then I'm trying to see if I can get my master's to cybersecurity on an NGC.
Okay. Oh wow, nice. Okay, welcome. So you guys call it UMGC now, right? I hate that name. I'm sorry to say. So that's if you see that's where I have my cybersecurity masters in cybersecurity technology. When it was UMUC a long time ago. So they changed the name UMGC. I don't like it. All right. Who else is joining?
That is me again. That is me. I'm going to pause the old one.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Good. If you can take up the old one, so I know I can as well just do this here. Don't worry. I can do this. All right. Are you settled now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's do this. If you have questions, if I'm going on, please don't hesitate to ask your questions. But if you want to write it down till I say any questions, then that'll be good. Okay. All right. Okay. We're going to give you a foundation of what cybersecurity is today. I'm going to be taking it slowly, and I need your attention because today is a very important day in your life. You just started your cybersecurity career. I always tell people that I always look back at days where I struggled with some things or ask myself that, is it a good idea at all? What did I get myself into? Just want to encourage you. There's nothing you would feel today that we haven't felt or haven't felt in my career. And I want to encourage you to put more time into your study. What is cybersecurity? What really is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is built on 3 pillars. And that pillar has 3 things. There's something called confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Cybersecurity is built on CIA triad, something called CIA triad. In the past, this is what they call it. Now they call it AIC triad. The reason why they're changing it to AIC triad is because people confuse it with the American CIA. When you hear CIA, it is not the American CIA. So it depends on who you are talking to. Even though they call it AIC, availability, integrity, and confidentiality, people will know that, yeah, you're kind of too new to the field. Everybody is new to CIA. So I want you to know that there's AIC, you might see it out there, but the core old school that will make people, when you're interviewing, they will know that you're not a rookie, even though you're a rookie, is if you call it CIA, right? Now, the CIA trial is the backbone of cybersecurity. Everything you will do in your career from today till when you decide not to do cybersecurity again, when you grow in your field, everything you will do can be traced back to the CIA trial. The CIA trial is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. I teach with feedback. I like to hear feedback. So sometimes I might throw a question at you. I just want to know if you're getting what I'm saying. Okay. Sometimes I also ask people to read a certain line so that they get to understand more of what is written in there. So, Maureen, can you start by reading what confidentiality is for me on the screen, please?
Okay. Confidentiality means keeping information confidential from unauthorized users.
Thank you very much. So one of the things that we do in cybersecurity is to make sure that information that is supposed to be for only this class remains in this class, okay? Only people who have signed up should have access to it. When, can I call you Ola? What?
Mayor.
Mayor, okay, let me call you Mayor. Mayor. So a mayor joined with a different number, a strange number. What did we do? We decided we will not go ahead until we see who he is, because we want only authorized people who are fully registered and paid their money are allowed to be in this class. Confidentiality. Okay? Second, can you give me your bank account number, please? Or password, sorry, your password. Password. Shani,
Why sharing?
can you please give me your security number?
I can't do that.
Why?
Because it's confidential.
Confidential. Mayor. Oh, you're enjoying the class already. Confidentiality. Some things are confidential. Only people. Okay. Mayor, can you please give me your diagnosis in your hospital that you went to see a doctor? What did the doctor tell you?
Say no more.
Watch. Public health,
Confidential.
Health information is confidential. Your password is confidential. Your social security number is confidential, right? Today, Shireen works in the field. Is it okay if I say that? She works in the field. You'll get to see all this when we get there. She works in the field where she has to be cleared before she can enter the building or start that job. There are 3 levels of clearance. There's confidential, there's secret, well, there's public trust. There's secret, and there's top secret, and there's top secret STI, and so on and so forth, okay? Now, Janae has secrets, okay? And then there's top secret, and then there's top secret SCI. Janae is at this level. These 3 places are confidential. She can only see details that is under secret. She will not be allowed to see because her clearance level is not as high as this. This is confidential, and only people who have this can see it. So let's go back to our example. Your password to your bank account is what? Confidential. Government data, the nuclear codes, is what? Confidential. Sometimes the movement of the United States president is what? Confidential. A lot of things in the government are confidential. Why? They have to keep them confidential so bad guys cannot steal them. Does that make sense? So, cybersecurity, one of the things we do is to ensure that in every system we are building confidentiality into it. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. What about integrity? Shanae, can you read integrity for us, please?
No authorized modifications of information.
I did that on purpose because that's what you do for a living now. You enter data, right? If you're entering data, you want to be sure that you're not making any changes. The system will be configured in a way so that Shanae cannot make changes to them. Okay? Integrity. After this class, Mio decides that he likes the way I teach, and then he wants to send me a $2.50 to buy coffee because I love Dunkin' Donut coffee, even though I want to cut down on coffee. Mayo said, I like what Professor is saying or is teaching. I want to give you money for coffee. So Mayo is here in his house, and I am here in Maryland, Laura, Maryland, right? So Mayo logs into his phone through his Bank of America app, right? And sends me $2.50. When he leaves his phone and it comes to me, if this $2.50, if a hacker is able to hack into it and change and remove this point, what does it become? $250, right? We say the integrity of that transaction has been impacted. Integrity is making sure that there's no unauthorized modification. If Mayo sends $250, what should come to my account is what? $250. If it's an email that you send or a WhatsApp message, it should not be modified. The real message should go. If you send a message to the WhatsApp group, you say, I don't like this professor. The sentence should be, I don't like this professor. It should not come saying, I love this professor. Integrity. Any questions so far? So, unauthorized modification is something we also bake into a system. Every system that every organization has. The bank wants to make sure that your transactions are accurate. If Shanae is entering data into the government system, they build the system in a way that the data she's entering is because that's her job. She's authorized to do that. Secunda is not authorized to do that. You should not have access to a system and do her job. Why? You are not authorized to do that. And there's something called authorized and unauthorized modification. If Secunda logs into your system, that's unauthorized modification. You have authorized access, but you should not make mistakes. Probably you traveled, you just got back from Cancun, you party hard, and you're tired, and you mistakenly enter the wrong data into it. Thus, you're authorized to do the job, but the integrity of that transaction is impacted. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So that is what integrity. So for every system and every infrastructure, every organization, they try to make sure they build confidentiality, they build integrity, and the third thing in the triad is they build availability. Mayo, can you read availability for us, please? Did we lose you?
I'm doing it now.
Okay, sir.
Timely availability for information to authorized user. Cybersecurity is the state of process of the protecting and recovery network, device and progress from any type of cyber
Thank you.
attack.
Thank you, sir. So the third thing is availability. When you pick up your phone, right? Let me ask you a question, Maureen. What is your favorite app to use on your phone?
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp, right? If you pick up your WhatsApp, you want to send a picture or voice note or something, and they say WhatsApp is down. What has been impacted? It's not available.
It's not available.
I like to shop on Amazon on my WhatsApp, on my phone. If WhatsApp is down, I can't access it, right? Availability is impacted. Availability is the process for the application or the system to be available to you or to all the users that want to use it. If you want to do a bank transaction and you get your bank app and your bank is not connected. This is how it works. You have your phone here, right? And then your phone will connect to a web server. Your phone will connect to your web server somewhere if it's your bank. Your bank will have a web server in the cloud. Then it will connect to an application server in most cases. Excuse me, I have a bad handwriting. And then it will connect to a database server. Okay? So if these things are not there, it will not work on your app. What is impacted?
It's crashing.
Sorry?
It's crashing.
Discretion?
Yeah, no, it's crashing if it's not working.
Yeah, but most likely it's crashing, yes. Availability has been impacted, you can't use it. So we try to build availability into the system to make sure that users will always use it when they need it. Amazon. Do you know how much Amazon will lose if they're offline for 10-15 minutes? How many of you use Amazon? I use Amazon a lot. Anybody using Amazon online? Availability. Okay? Every organization makes sure that the application is available to all the users so they don't lose money. Why? Because if they're not available now, the clients, the customers will move to the next available one. So in everything that every organization has, they try to build confidentiality into it, they try to build integrity into it, and they try to build to make sure it's available for all the users that are going to be using the application. Let's look at what are the threats to CIA. The bad guys will always ensure that they try to infiltrate that controls that thing you put in place. Now, let me go back and talk about CIA again. You don't want me to come into your house, or you just left your house, you're coming for class. What did you do when you left your house? You locked the door. If you drove down here, what happened when you got out of your car? You lock, right? Confidentiality. The criminals will want to beat that system to make sure they break into your house or they break into your car. So the bad guys will always be a threat to these good things you guys are doing. The reason why cybersecurity will keep growing is people are getting bad every day. I'm sorry to say. The criminals are getting bad. They are desperate. They will always try to infiltrate and make sure that the confidentiality you put in place, they penetrate it. They want to log and ensure that everything you put in that system to ensure integrity, they beat it, or for malicious purpose, they want to bring your server down so people will not even do banking with you anymore. So there are threats to CIA, things like cybercrime, hacking, people using computers for bad things. Those are things that are threats to CIA. Anything that they do out there, there are many, you will get to learn them more and more. Your job, right, is going to be working with a team to ensure that these guys don't break into your confidentiality, integrity, and availability. What are the kind of cyber attacks? Some of this name might be strange to you. I promise you, as you go ahead, you will learn what they are. I will try to explain some of them to you, and some of them will be overwhelming if I try to explain them to you. I usually start by announcing or teaching the ones that 90% of the time must have gotten used to it, okay? Let's look about malware. How many of you have had viruses in your computers, malwares? That right there is a threat to your system. It might be availability. You want to work, but it's not there because the virus is mentioned on the system. Some of this virus, malware, comes from two words: malicious software. Malicious software. It's a software with malicious intent. Okay? So some people write it to steal information from you, to mess up your system, to put a backdoor to your system, so they have an eye in your system. Okay? Phishing. How many of you have received email that you've won a contract somewhere? You know, you won a contract or you just won a prize. Click this link. Okay? That's phishing. They call it phishing. And then we have man in the middle attack, man in the middle attack. Man in the middle attack is this. Okay? This is Maureen right here, communicating with Mayo right here, gossiping about how boring the class is. Now, if they're using WhatsApp to communicate, man in the middle is me being here. I hack into the network, and then I am reading what they are passing to each other, but they don't know. That's called man in the middle. I am that man in the middle now, between two of them. There's active man in the, please write that down. There's active man in the middle attack, and there's passive man in the middle attack. A passive man in the middle attack is when I'm just reading what Maureen is sending to Mayo. Mayo is reading to Maureen. That's a passive one. I'm just reading. An active man in the middle attack is this. When Maureen says, good morning, I will change it, intercept it, and change it to hello. And then I'll send it to Mayo. Mayo will think that's what she sent. If Mayo says, how are you? Where are you? I can change it to good morning. That is active man in the middle attack. So there's active man in the middle attack, and there's passive man in the middle attack. There's something called denial of service and distributor denial of service. Denial of service is when the hacker logs into his system and launches an attack on an organization to bring their server down. Distributed denial of service, DDoS, we call it DDoS. There's DOS and DDoS. DOS is denial of service. Distributed denial of service is DDoS. Denial of service is when you have a bot master. DDoS, this is DDoS. What the bot master will do, he will hack into millions of computers all over the world. Millions of computers. We call them bots. That's why it's the bot master, B-O-T. This is Amazon. You might say, I don't like Amazon, and I'm going to attack Amazon, but I won't use my system. I will compromise millions of computers all over the world. Then, in his command and control center, he will instruct these computers, all of them, to attack Amazon. Everybody from his house. He attacks Amazon and brings their server down. This is called distributed denial of service. But just denial of service is him not using computers to bring Amazon down. He just uses only his own system. These are attacks. I'll stop here, and you will learn more as we go ahead with this system. I want to introduce you to this core part, and then we'll take our first break. Please pay attention to this part. We'll come back to it. How does cybersecurity work? A lot of people think that cybersecurity is all about hacking and writing computer programs. The people who make a lot of money in cybersecurity don't even do anything hacking at all. They don't do programming. They do functional work. So I see my students when they come in, I see fear in them, thinking that, oh, I need to have experience in hacking and being fast on computers, all those things you see in the movies. The first thing they see is what the movie has shown them. That's the movies. Cybersecurity works in very many ways, and it has opportunity for everybody. So, how does cybersecurity work? We've talked about CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. How do you build these three things into a system? For all the places you work, you will be supporting a system or an application. Amazon is an application. Amazon has people, a cybersecurity team that are supporting it. Your bank has cybersecurity department that is supporting that particular application. Somebody online talking?
Yeah. That's what God.
Okay, so basically, for every system you'll be supporting, everywhere you'll be working, you'll be supporting the system. I have worked in places where I supported a system called WISE. WISE stands for Wholesale Information Search Engine. I worked in a place where I supported a system called BRAS. BRAS stands for Billing, Reporting, Analytic, and Statistics Systems. I've worked in a place where I support a system called CCWS, Child something welfare, I don't remember everything. But you will work in a place where there's a system that you support. In most cases, somebody just wakes up and say, I want to develop an application. If you have an opportunity today, Mayor, to develop an application, what application, if you want to develop something online, what will you develop?
Human experience.
You want to develop an application that has human experience, right?
Yes.
All right, let me ask Shanae, if you want to develop, thanks, Mayor. If you want to develop an application today, what application will you develop? Anybody wants to take a guess? Second, if you want to develop an application today, what can you develop?
Like a business application.
A business application. You can develop a business application like an application that sells clothes.
Yeah.
Okay, I see Maureen nodding. Okay, an application that sells clothes. All right, let's even pick that. An application that sells clothes. If you have an application that sells clothes, let's do a business requirement or requirement gathering. It means that you need to have a server in the cloud, right? All right, this is the internet. This is where you have your server, and here you have your customers, right? People have to log into the place. What are the things that they are going to do? What are you going to receive from them? You're going to receiving, just like Amazon, credit cards, right? Credit cards. That means you're going to have your what? Your name, your credit card, right? And what again?
Address.
Address. Okay. What else again? In some cases, date of birth, right? In some cases, so that you want to know if it's an adult that's buying something, not a kid, you know. You will get their email, right? Their email. At least let's stop here for now. All right. Would you like to give these details, your details, to somebody who cannot protect them? So you're going to be receiving these details from people to keep on your server. So what you want to do is to ensure that this server is protected. This server has what?
Information.
Confidentiality, integrity, and is always available for your customers. How do you do that?
The signing up.
They sign up, right? And then you save everything there. But how do you know that I will not try to get in there to steal Maureen's or Secunda's credit card numbers and bank details in there?
Cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity will have to be in there, right? To bring in what? To ensure it's safe, CIA. Now, you are just a business person. You're thinking about just the profit you want to make. But you cannot just wake up and just open it like that. There has to be some standards that are put in place. Does that make sense? Okay. Those are the things we'll come back and talk after our 10-minute break. Okay? We have water. We have so I always say this, right? I always say this to my students. I said, if you are in class and they bring food, the partners will bring food in. Not really food though. I'm being careful. Let me snack maybe, maybe coffee. If you don't drink it, then they will cut it off. And I said to the students, I always say that one of the greatest challenge time for me is that 10 weeks where they bring coffee and donuts. Before the class ends, most of the students will leave all the 10 pounds, 15 pounds to me. By the time the class is over, I've added like 10 pounds. When I want to lose it again, the new class will start. So please, when we bring anything, please eat it. And like I said, if you don't eat it, the partners will withdraw it. Head of learning is listening to me. So we'll take a 10-minute break. Use the bathroom. I can show you the break room. I can show you where they are, and we're back in 10 minutes. Online, are we good? Or 10 minutes break?
Sure.
Yeah, are we good?
Yes.
All right, so let's take a bathroom break, review your coffee, stretch your legs. See you in 10 minutes. So the governments and other organizations, right? A lot of them don't just wake up and stand up their system. 90% of the time, you will find yourself in one of these fields. It's either you're supporting to stand up a system or you're supporting to maintain a system. The system has been built, you're supporting it, or you're part of a system that is being built. I always tell my students, I said, it depends on how much prayer you want me to do for you. When you're part of a system that is just being built before it goes live, right? It's very stressful, but it's good for you because it's good for your resume, you know? Some people say, okay, I don't want to do that yet until I just want to get a job where we're maintaining the system, right? And then when I have experience, then you can throw me where we're building the system to go live. Now, let's do this, thank you. So you provide security under, please, this is very important. You as a cybersecurity professional, you provide security under certain methodologies or frameworks. You don't just wake up and do security. You follow a plan, you follow a framework, you follow a standard, you follow a methodology. Two of the most popular methodologies or framework that are out there is ISO, which is International Organization for Standardization, right? And FISMA. FISMA stands for Federal Information Security Management Act. Okay? If you are mostly the one interview question that they will ask you, or they might ask you in interview, is what is the difference between ISO and FISMA? Let me explain ISO. ISO is mostly for international businesses. right? Businesses that are done internationally. Facebook is an international business, right? Amazon is an international business. So for most businesses that are global, there is a world standard, a world framework, a world methodology that you need to, a global one that you need to adhere to. And the body that makes sure that you do that is called ISO. You have to go through a certification. Your business has to go through an assessment. Please pay attention to these things. Your business has to go through an assessment and goes through a certification, and they say you are ISO certified.
The business?
Any business you're doing, if you're global, right? You have to get ISO certified. Any questions so far? For FISMA started with United States and is still with United States. Here, FISMA is a law that says that for every federal agency, you need to have a cybersecurity program. The Federal Information Security Management Act is a law that states that for all the federal agencies, you need to have security, a program that ensures security over your network. Then, under the Department of Commerce, there's a body that is empowered to build the standard that every federal agency has to follow. That body is called National Institute of Standard and Technology, NIST. You will hear a lot about NIST. You will hear a lot about NIST in this field. So while we have ISO, which is international, you have FISMA in the US. FISMA is the act, is the law. The body that empowers them, or the law empowers to build the frameworks, is called what? NIST. I told you that one of the interview questions is what is the difference between ISO and NIST, right? You will hear interchangeably. When you hear, please listen to this. When you hear FISMA, what they're trying to say is NIST. When they hear NIST, what they're trying to say, they are adhering to FISMA. ISO, don't worry, I got you. I saw it in your face. ISO has something called 2700 series. NIST has what is called 800 series. All right, forget about all this nonsense I was saying here right now. Okay, come back to me. So, Segunda, you like restaurant, right? What restaurant do you like to eat in? Just beginning.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. There's Chick-fil-A, there's McDonald's, there's Cheesecake Factory, there's P.F. Chang, there's Red Lobster, and so on and so forth. All these restaurants have to have a certain level of cleanliness. They have inspectors, food inspector, right? That will come and inspect them and make sure that they don't have molds, their kitchens are clean, their things are fresh, right? If they don't have it, what happens?
They
They shut them down. ISO is the inspector for international businesses. You have to have certain controls, certain security in your business, in your system. Is that making sense now? In America, the federal agencies, Department of State, Department of Justice, Department of whatever you want to call them, right? FISMA says that you need to have a certain level of security in all your networks. Now, those securities are written in multiple places. For ISO, it is 2700 series, meaning there's 2700, there's 2701, there's 2701, there's 2702, they keep going down. So when ISO, if you want to do business internationally, you have to go to ISO and implement all the instructions they have, all the security details they want you to have in place, okay? For you to be certified, ISO certified. Your business that you talked about for clothes, right? You want to have shop in Dubai, you want to have shop in London, you have to have shop in China and one in America. What you will do is make sure that for your servers, your networks, you follow a certain standard that these guys have. What are those standards? They might say you need to have all your username and password encrypted. Does that make sense? If I'm logging into your system, it should be encrypted. It should have security that will make sure nobody from China can hack. You should have a security whereby nobody will steal your username and password. All those are the standards that are written in this series. So your engineers and cybersecurity professionals, like you, will work with engineers to make sure that those things are in place. So that when these guys come to check, just as those people come from restaurant to check, they will come with their paper. They don't come with a paper like that. I'll just give you an example. They might come and say, does he have this check? Does he have this check? They'll be looking at all this series, okay? Making sure that you have security in your network. And when you pass, they give you an ISO certificate. You're ISO certified, you're cleared to do business internationally. Does that make sense? For the federal government in America, it's FISMA. And NIST wrote the standards. Their own series, 800 series. Right? And we'll come to that as we move ahead. Let's start with FISMA, which is what you will deal with a lot in America. Please, Maureen, read FISMA for us, the one that says made it a requirement.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say second. Can you?
Made it a requirement for federal agencies to develop, document, and implement an information security and protection program.
FISMA is a law that says every federal agency, right, must develop, document, and implement an information system security and protection program. Meaning all the federal government system have to have security. That's why you're going to get a job. Because it's a law that says that you guys need to have cyber security in your agency. Okay? Now, Maureen, please read required.
Require that all federal networks to have certain security requirements in place.
Does that make sense? Right? That's the law. Now, can you read the second one again? The security.
The security checklist must be implemented before the network or infrastructure can be used.
It has to be there before you start using it. You cannot just tell all of us to come and start working, buying Amazon when you've not put security there. So you go through processes in implementing testing. When you're sure it's secure, right? Then you say we go live. Now, I used to work on a project in Federal Reserve many years ago, the Federal Reserve Bank. And I remember we were building a system, and I remember the day we went live I will never forget in my life. I was stationed, I was the lead, I was the project engineering lead, and I was stationed in Baltimore. So we were going live on a Saturday, but because of the tension, I could not go live at home. I drove to the office. And when we had finished building the system, we tested it, we've done everything that we can. And the go live means you switch the old one and you start a new one. And I remember when we switched over, 3 questions came. Is that okay? Yes. Is that okay? Yes. Is that okay? Yes. And then the last question is to the clients. Can we shut down the old system now? They say yes. Okay, we'll shut it down. We shut it down. Nothing broke. Everything okay? Yes. I went on my belly. I liked that. And I began to praise God. You know, what they're saying here is the security checklist must be implemented before network information can be used. So for every federal agency, if you go to support an agency, Jeanette supports an agency, right? Let's just say they want to build a separate data entry program. The cybersecurity team will make sure that every control has been put in place, they will test, and then they go live. That's how it works, okay? Jeanette, please read FISMA compliance for us.
FISMA compliance is data security guidance set by FISMA and the National Institute of Standards and Technology.
Thank you. These are all the federal agencies in the US. Okay? The legislative, the executive, and judicial, they all have to have something called every year. They have to have something called FISMA assessment or audit. Sorry, I don't know if you can see very well. Every year, they have to go through FISMA audit or FISMA assessment to be sure that they have security in place. Okay? Now, I am actually working towards a FISMA audit for 3 of my systems that are going to be audited January and February. So usually from October down to December is hectic. Why? Because we're camping, making sure we have this NIST control in place. We have this in place. We have this in place. Why? Because when the FISMA auditors show up, the law says that every federal agency has to hire an independent auditor to come and audit you, your system. So you will go find yourself in a place whereby it's either you're trying to obtain what we call an ATO, write that down, we'll come back to it, right? Obtaining an ATO, right? It's either you're trying to obtain your ATO. ATO stands for authority to operate. Authority to operate. Authority to operate. Every system that the federal agency has cannot go live without an ATO. So you're either trying to obtain an ATO, maintain an ATO, or renew an ATO. That's an interview question right there. You're either trying to get an ATO, or maintain the ATO, or renew the ATO. And one of the things you're going to be doing in project simulation, the hands-on we're going to do, is you're going to be working with somebody called an authorizing official, AO. Authorizing official to obtain an ATO for a system. Previous classes have built application. One class builds an e-commerce application. They are not engineers who built it. They supported it to get its ATO, okay? Working with the AO. Another class built a system called Fashion App. Another class built a system that is called Trap. tax returns application, tax return application processing. It was an application, they said, oh, we want a contract with IRS. It was during, I think it was my last two class, it was during tax returns. So we say we just want a contract with IRS. We want to build an application that can help people sit down in their house and just file their taxes for tax returns. So the name of the application is called what? TRAP. So their job was to make sure that this TRAP obtains an ATO before people start using it. Is it making sense now? Okay, so begin to think about what you guys are going to build because you're going to go through it, obtaining an ATO, just as it's been done in the field out there. Did I scare anybody? Don't worry, we're here. Wow, secondary line, you're not gonna scare me anymore. That's good. All right.
I have a quick question.
Yes, please.
What I'm trying to understand is if you have the is it ISO, and then let me say like in the US you have a FISMA. So what you're saying is we need to have somebody like the is it authority official to obtain the to obtain the ATO for the business to start operating.
So is it for, okay, let me explain it this way, right? ISO is mostly international. And in most cases, they ask you in an interview question, what is the difference between ISO and NIST? The answer is this: ISO is certifiable, NIST is not. For you to be able to obtain ISO and work with ISO, you need to go through their certification process. But for NIST, you do not need to have a NIST certification. You just need to have NIST assessment and you're good.
All the security.
Good. Now, there's something called senior management. You'll hear this a lot. Senior management are the big shots, the CEO, the directors, they own the company. Just like Secondra is saying she wants to own the business for fashion, right? She was going to be the senior management. She will now have a department that is trying to build security into that system that she will use to sell clothes online. It's going to be a cybersecurity team that will have a security lead, depending on the size. Under the security lead, you're going to have cybersecurity analysts, you're going to have engineers that are their own is hands-on, right? They will do the implementation, you do the documentation. Okay? Now, senior management are many, they don't have time for everybody. So what they will do is they will delegate one person from here who will be working with you guys. And that person is called what? Authorizing official. So you'll be holding meetings with these guys, giving him information on how far you are. They are the business owners. We are the business managers. They are the data owners. We are data custodians. Whatever they say, we do. Okay? If they say we don't want that thing there, yes, sir. Just write it in an email and give us. So tomorrow you don't say, right? This is America. Shoot an email. So is it clear now?
Yes.
So now, for your class, you're going to be going through a simulation where you're trying to build an application or maybe build an application. And that application cannot go live until you get your ATO. And this is the person that will give you your ATO. Okay? Before you go live. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
All right. Please write those keywords down. They're very important. Very, very important. You're going to be hearing the senior management, senior leadership. You will hear obtaining ATO, renewing ATO, maintaining ATO, authorizing official. Please begin to speak this language, okay? I always tell my students, please go and meet students in other schools. I won't say challenge them, discuss with them, okay? That's why I say take notes. Write your notes, practice them, discuss it. In previous classes, I've seen students who start tutorial class, okay, on their own, the whole time where they have like an hour together separately, and then they discuss and we go through what they've learned so far, okay? Now, Any questions so far? These are the agencies. I talked about 800 series, right? For ISO, it is 2700 series. For NIST, it is what?
800.
800 series. I am tempted to give you another break now. But let me see if this will enter. If it doesn't go in, then I'm gonna give you a break. For the 800 series, you will hear NIST 800 dash something. You will have this 800 constant, okay? You will have NIST 800 dash 37, the most popular NIST series you will deal with as far as your career is concerned. You will hear NIST 53, A and B. You will hear NIST. Let me leave these two for now. There are multiple of them. You don't have to know everything. You only have to know the one that is related to the department you get a job with, or the company you get a job with. I thought you were going to ask, is NIST only for federal government? It's not only for federal government. It started with federal government. It was so successful that many private organizations now use the framework. You follow it to put security into their system. But if you're with the federal government, you have to follow this, okay? Now, NIST 37. Please do me a favor. Again, Shanae, and read the first part.
NIST 800 series, a technical standard set of publications that detail U.S. government procedures, policies, and guidelines for information systems developed by the National Institute of Standards and Technology.
Good. Please go ahead.
Some NIST 800 series include NIST SP 837 Risk Management Framework for Information Systems and Organizations and System Life Cycle Approach for Security and Privacy.
Those things are very, very important. SP there stands for special publication. So you always see NIST SP 37, NIST 63. But I want us to break. We just talked about one now. We just talked about one. And NIST what?
37.
NIST 37. I like that. Ooh, that made me smile right now. 37. What is NIST 37? What does it teach us? What is that? A framework for what? For information systems and organization, right? But what does it do? Specifically, is a life cycle for what? It's a life cycle approach for what?
Security.
Security and privacy. These are two key things you will work with. Okay? Everything you're trying to put into any system you're supporting is security and privacy. Security and privacy simply means CIA. That's all. Everything goes back to what? CIA. You're going to grow to a field where you won't hear CIA again. Right? But everything you're doing can be traced back to CIA. A life cycle approach for security and privacy. Let me show you this. What is happening here is this. You're following a certain standard to ensure the security and privacy in your system. For NIST 53, remember I told you about 53, right? 53 has control. 37 is the framework. Oh, don't worry, I'm going to walk you through all that. 37 is the framework, 53 is control. Let's look at the control family. In this 53 revision 4, interview questions again. I'm trying to put that into your head now because when you start interviewing, these are things they will throw at you to see if you know what they're talking about or not. We have NIST 53, revision 4, and revision 5. In revision 4, Rev 4, there are 18 control families. In Rev 5, there are 20 control families. What are the control families? That's what you're looking at right now. Access control, awareness and training, audit and accountability, planning, personnel security. What NIST is saying, Secunda, is that for your business, let's say your business is with the Department of State. For your business to go live, you have to make sure you have access control there. You have awareness and training for your employees. You have personnel security. You need to have people at the front so security can be secured. You need to have a program that is for incident response. If you have an incident, how do you respond? You have to put all those things in place before you go live. How can you know what to do? NIST 53 will show you everything you need to do. Does that make sense? I will come back to NIST 53. I'm going to give you another break. And then we'll come back, our second break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk to this. See you all in 10 minutes. I'll have to go through a lot of them again, so they have a video. All right. So, but basically what we're saying here is you need this certification to be able to move on in the field. In the past, we just focused on Security Plus. And we discovered that it was limiting people. It wasn't giving them a direction of audit or risk or just compliance or analysis. So what we do is we merge all into this training that we give, so that depending on your area of passion, when you're done with us, you should be able to write any of these exams by buying their curriculum, their domains, and just going through and write the exams, instead of bottling you under one. Any question on this?
I'm sorry, I was in the place where they have an interview with the cybersecurity, and the CPN you mentioned before was come out with the interview.
Sorry?
So the CPN, CISCAN or CISPAN that you mentioned before we come to this area was mentioned in the interview. And deeply, this question is, do we need to have another book for this, or this is all what we need to read and follow before we do the exam?
So good question. Depending on the area path, the thread you want to go on, it will determine what you need to get. As far as cybersecurity is concerned, we're going to give you a robust, a complete knowledge of what you need to know in cybersecurity as a whole. Now, for you to be able to now write an exam, you will choose the body. I give you an example. If we make our curriculum on ISC Square certified in cybersecurity, we're limiting you. If we make our curriculum based on Security Plus, we're limiting you. If we make our focus on IT audit or risk management, we're still limiting you. So what we're doing is we touch all these areas, okay? Then, if you have a passion for audits, then you can just buy their domain and then focus on what you're asking the exams, pass it and move on. 90% of the time, you will learn from things that we already have taught you here. If it's for risk, then you can do the same thing. Does that make sense, Mayor?
Yes. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Okay, yeah, you have a question.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about that slide. So like the cyber security is like just divided into two, the security plus and the risk.
For certifications, they have multiple certifications you can write, depending on where you want to get a job. You have to have a certification. If you want to be an IT auditor and you want to apply for IT audit position, they want to see a certification, right? That's when you focus on IT audit certification. If your job is mostly about risk assessment and you like assessing risk, you like doing analysis on risk, right? And you want to grow in that field, then you focus on that side of certification. But overall, I always encourage people, I encourage my students, or we encourage our students to start with any of these two, certified in cybersecurity or security plus.
And so at the end of this class, are we going to have like what certification?
So at the end of this class, you're going to have a complete knowledge of cybersecurity, a working knowledge, hands-on working knowledge of cybersecurity, right?
Yeah.
Then you will now decide what exam you need to write, either certified in cybersecurity or security plus, right? Now, it's a different body that writes the exam. Now, they have what they call domain, which is just topics. They want you to focus on exam topics. You will just go to their website. They will have the domain. Now, like I said, 90% of everything you will see there, either certified in cybersecurity or security plus, are things you already know from this class. So all you need to do is learn how they put their questions, buy their old practice questions, write the exam and pass. That's all. Does that make sense?
Please, maybe I don't know. So at the end of this class, we are not going to have no certification. Our certification will be based on what we choose to do. Then we go ahead and
you're going to get you're going to have certificates of completion of 40 hours of cybersecurity training.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You're going to get a certificate that you are trained in cybersecurity.
Okay.
That's education. So there's education, there's certification. This education will prepare you for two things. One is your hands-on job, when you get a job. Number two, it prepares you for any path you want to take in the field, or for any of these exams you want to write. All you need to do is choose, I want to write from ISC Square or CompTIA.org, and then you go. By then, half of what they're going to ask you, you know already. You just have to follow their own rules and write their exams and review their topics, review their question style, sit for their exam and pass. That's all. Does that help?
Yeah.
All right, good. Any other questions? All right, let's take it 10 minutes. We'll come back and learn, okay? Let's go refill our coffee, stretch our legs, okay? Our last break for the day.
I don't know. I didn't attend the class starts at what time?
It starts at 9 on the dot. And then we have 3 breaks. Like I said, depending on the workload we have, some of the break might be 5 minutes.
So
use the bathroom, stretch and come back. So yeah.
The class ends at what time?
1.
Okay, then which days of the week?
Saturdays, just Saturdays.
Okay, just Saturday.
Yes. Just Saturdays. And then on the first day like this, I try to make it like, okay, just work with you, okay? Make it comfortable for you. Make sure I have time for question and answers for you, and calm your fears and have you go home very good. All right. All right, so let's see in 10 minutes. Is that okay? All right, see you in 10 minutes.
They start gathering requirements, they start gathering like requirements, and then when they're done gathering requirements, they have to design the architecture, and then from there they develop the application, and then they do the testing and test if the code is working, and then they can do like maintenance. And then we talked about the CI, the CD pipeline, which is a continuous integration and then continuous deployment. So with the CI, we kind of say like somebody is coding on somebody has a particular code he's supposed to work on, and then another person has the another code. So they keep integrating those codes to make sure they don't have any bugs. Because in the process of integrating those codes, they can like identify those bugs and then kind of like fix it before they can deploy it to.
Very correct.
Mhm.
Very correct. Thank you. So in that circle, where we have development and all that and testing, you find out that CI/CD comes in from that development and testing. Have you seen that?
Mhm.
So the CI/CD part is the part that you will mostly see when you move from development to testing. You're doing all those things. Very good. Yeah. What other things have we learned today?
Government risk tools.
Called GRC, governance. What is governance? What is risk? And what is compliance? And the tools that are used by most organizations. Yeah. Okay. You can look at your notes, please. That's why you take notes. If I ask you questions, please feel free to look into your notes and bring it up, okay? Yeah, online, anybody want to talk about what we learned so far? You can refer to your notes, and the more you talk about these things, the more it becomes a part of you. So it's always good to make an attempt, no matter how, don't be shy, no matter how horrible you think it is, start. It's a process, okay?
Oh,
Nobody's here to laugh at you or judge you. Just-
they said the governance has, the governance risks and compliance has some policies that you must follow. So with the governance, it's kind of like the management, it kind of like say the exact thing that they want you to follow, and then the risks, there's always gonna be a risk, but we have to mitigate those risks. And then with the compliance, there's a particular procedure you have to comply with in the company policies.
Yeah, compliance is there, so governance is there to govern, it's like, it comes from the word government, right? So in America, the federal government is in charge. In the state of Maryland, the state government is in charge, right? So you need a governance body. It's like the governors, the presidents, the lawmakers, so those are people, right? That lead you in that organization. And then the risk is that department that identifies and manages all the risk you are facing or you will be facing as you go. And the compliance is that part that would specifically speak about all that. Now, the good thing about it is you're going to be involved in all three areas, right? In all three areas you're involved. A lot of people make money in policy development. Oh my God. Oh my God. I've known policy writers that's all they do. In cybersecurity, they are made for life because their job is secured for life because of policy development. They write policies. You know, those are governance people. And then there are some that they've chosen the part of risk. Like I said, you're part of those three areas. You work in these three areas. Risk is the management is always concerned about what risk we're facing. And it just never ending risk process. And then of course they want us to be in compliance. Why? Because if you're not in compliance, you either get shut down or you get fined. And government and senior leadership does not like to be in problems with law or lose money, you know. So that's good. Yeah. What other things have we learned today? Like I'm taking you back so you look at them. We talked about this.
There's second question, which is like a teamwork with developers, security, and then the operation.
Correct. So I lead a security team where for everything the developers are doing, they have to run it through my team to be sure they're not violating any security vulnerability, they're not opening the vulnerability and stuff like that, okay? And of course, when we try to build security, the operations team will test to make sure the functionalities are okay. We talked about the models, right? Life cycle, we talked about what security teams do, and we talked about FISMA and NIST. Have we learned anything today? So I have a question I'm going to ask, but let's learn this plane here. All right, now, we always announce this to our students that in this class, what you're going to learn is mostly introduction to cybersecurity like today. You will learn a lot about cloud computing because everything is in the cloud right now. Have to learn. We're not saying you want to make cloud engineers, no. You have to learn what cloud is, what are the cloud service providers, CSPs. We talked about FISMA compliance already, right? And that is the RMF steps, risk management framework, the steps. We have an overview of that today. Cybersecurity frameworks that are out there. You will learn what FIPS is, Federal Information Processing System, which is part of what you will do in RMF. You will see that. We talked about NIST, right? And then you have to learn about documentation and cybersecurity. That's the bread and butter. Again, 90% of you will function in this area. Functional analyst, cybersecurity analyst, you will be dealing with this document, SSP. You know what an SSP is? What is an SSP? I mentioned it earlier. And I know you all wrote it down. Please check.
SSP. That's my book.
Security plan, right? Remember that? It's a security plan.
System security plan.
Okay, what is an ATO?
Authority. No.
You got it, yeah? Authority to operate.
Okay.
Okay? So don't even get yourself, you read it down, authority to operate. You will hear things like PTA, privacy threshold analysis, PIA, privacy impact assessment, contingency plan, we talked about contingency plan, configuration plan, and all that. And then, of course, we'll do a project simulation where you will try to use some tools to go through the risk management framework process of categorizing. When you finally decide what system you want to build, either for health department, for the bank, or the government, we will try to simulate the fact that we're building a server. We want to build security and privacy into that server, working with the development team and the operations team, okay? Since we are the security team, we'll do that. And we'll touch some of those tools in there. Some positions you should be able to apply for when you're done with this thing is you should be able to apply for at least and minimum cybersecurity analyst, incident response analyst, IT security specialist, risk analyst, vulnerability management analyst, information analyst, and all that. You should be able to apply for cybersecurity compliance analyst. When you pass your certification and you study hard, you should be able to apply for these roles. This one I've mentioned. And as you grow, then you can delve into other areas you see here. Okay. These are options you have. Now, there are links I'm going to send to the WhatsApp group. These two links I will send to the WhatsApp group. Please watch them. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because you cannot, I always say this, please listen to me. You cannot secure what you don't understand, okay? You're trying to secure a network. You are trying to secure an infrastructure. So you can't secure a certain area when you don't understand. So I beg you to watch those videos I was saying. They're going to help you understand what network is, what are the networks, okay? And I always say this, Google, YouTube are your best friend. We're here for you, okay? These are some of the things that helped us. What is? You might go and say, what is GRC2? Or what is GRC? You'll be shocked at little videos that will help you, okay? In line with what you're learning from here. Your personal commitment and hard work will help you. I always tell students this. Remember the first day you go behind it, if you drive now, remember the first day you go behind the steering. You most likely were freaking out, you know, because you had no control. And then you graduated to, at least you have control, but you're still scared. And then you get to, you're just being careful. And you've always been careful. But look at that day, and look at today where you're driving and taking coffee while you're driving. You have just one hand in the steering. The brake, you put it down. You are signaling, and in most cases, you have your earpiece or your Bluetooth. You're talking on the phone. You're driving, talking to your friend or somebody on the phone, and drinking your coffee. You're doing three things at the same time. Why? You've mastered it, okay? There's something called the law of repetition. And I always ask students questions about acronyms, okay? If I say, okay, let's say this right now. What does this mean?
Opinion.
Governing
Risks of blindness.
So, right, you know it now. You heard it several times. I'm trying to use a certain old acronyms that most likely you have heard, maybe from where you grew up, okay? If I do this, a person who grew up from my community will say it in one beat. This stands for Nigerian Television Authority, the only TV station we grew up in. When I was growing up, we had, when TV started at 4 p.m., there was no 24-hour TV, you know? So we've heard this several times that anybody who grew up in my side of the country will say this. If I say this, if I write this, the same thing will happen. That is the power authority we grew up on. Because we heard it, nobody taught us. We heard it on and on and on. It became a part of us. It stopped there. So the law of repetition, the more you talk about it, the more you spend time with it, the more you will know about it. Let's play with 3 acronyms in America. I can't remember a lot. I don't want CIA. I don't want CIA. If I ask you your zip code now, you tell me within a like you can tell me like this. Why? You've constantly heard it, okay? Your city, you constantly remind it. So the more you spend time with these things, the more you have ability to retain them, talk about them more, and then you have mastery over them in interviews, and you continue to grow when you get a job. Okay? It's doable. I've seen people do it, and I'm serious. I've seen one of my students who was just waiting tables. Just waiting tables, making money now in cybersecurity. I've seen some who just graduated from college, making money now in cybersecurity. I've seen one who was a realtor, now making money. As a matter of fact, one who used to be a realtor, was roommates to my first set of student who works with NASA now. She works with NASA. Actually, after class, I think a year or so, she just got a job with NASA. I was teaching when she came. I talked about her in the open house. But the funny thing is, the one who was a realtor got a job with the company I work. I remember sending her down, but then I forgot. Then one day, my boss sent me an email. She was online. He sent me an email and said, "David, take care of this." And I said, "Okay." So I looked at the email and I began to look at people I'll respond back to. And guess whose name I saw in part of the CC? Her name. So I quickly called out. I said, "Oh, wow." He started screaming. I said, "Wow, I can't believe this." From knowing nothing about cybersecurity, you are now in the same company with me working. And now I see you in an email. I'm like, "Oh, wow." So I remember telling my boss, she works in a place what we call CDE, you know, part of the cyber team there. So we needed to respond to some things that were really putting pressure on us. I now said to my boss, I said, I have a working relationship with this person. I told, "Oh, nice. Can you?" I said, "Don't worry." I said, imagine I said I'm like a mentor. I taught her cybersecurity. He said, "Oh, wow." So right now I just go like, so if I need anything like, "Hey, Sally, you guys are asking about this, what do you know?" She will jump and just throw every information I need, like to me. So it's good, it's possible, okay? Don't discourage yourself. And take time every day, ask yourself, what have I learned in this field? Practice it. You know? Any questions so far?
You said that you are sending something to the WhatsApp group. Have you sent it? Because
No, sir. Not yet.
Okay, just to confirm.
Yeah, I will send you some videos that will help you. Okay.
Okay.
Some videos that will help you, just watch them. Some are series, take time and watch them. They're going to help you as you go ahead, okay?
Okay.
Any other question?
For what's that? You were sending us the link so we could join. For what's that?
Oh, for the WhatsApp, yeah, you should have gotten it, but I think, let's see what happens. Head of parent is still around. When we are done, we'll see how we can all be a part of that, the WhatsApp group, okay? All right, so usually, let's do this. Usually, we take attendance. And that attendance is, we always try to make sure you attend at least 80% of our class. Okay? Please, and please. Two things for housekeeping. Number one is, usually in the class, I usually have somebody who's like the timekeeper. When I say we're back in 10 minutes, the person will tell me what time we're back. And when it's time, the person starts announcing, okay, let's go back, let's go back. You know, it's time, we'll come back, number one. There's always one person that reminds me when I come back to resume recording, okay? They tell me, hey, are you recording? And I'm like, oh, and I jump back. The moment I just said, oh, are we back? If I start talking for 10 seconds, the person reminds me if I forget. So please, let's see if we can get that also, okay? All right. So we're going to take our attendance for today. This is going to be this. All right, so Julie, my hands 16. All right, let me stop recording. So any question before I stop recording? All right.